Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Beef, where we not only talk about everyday problems, we talk about everyday solutions.
Yes, sir.
And you have solved some problems, it looks
man.
like.
Yeah, man. A little bit of a problem.
Look at you.
A little bit of a problem. I'm standing now.
You're standing?
Yeah, no, I'm standing. I got a lot of energy, Bob. So I figured I gotta. I realized that. No, in all seriousness, I realized that with work I've been doing and things, I've been sitting a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
And like, you know, at the age that we get when we're sitting a lot, man, things just hurt more. And I'm like, man, is this really because I'm sitting for like 5-6 hours? I'm adding them all up. I'm like, man, I'm sitting a lot of hours a week. My hips are hurting, my legs are hurting. I'm like sore. I'm like, I feel like I'm 112 years old.
It's feel crazy. The same way. And you know, it's become like a normal thing that I'm sitting on the couch for a while and then I get up and I literally can't move. I don't know if
like
you have this,
like you gotta knock off the rust a little bit, right?
And I literally I'm walking like a zombie, and my kids like, oh my God, you're so old. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't understand. It's because I like have become just used to it, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
It's crazy.
Totally.
It's
Really
my
son used to wrestle and do all this stuff all the time. Like the last couple of years, I'm like, dude, you got to take it easy. You know, granted, he's gotten a lot bigger. You know, he's 6'2" and he's 205 pounds. But still, I want to be able to wrestle with him again. You know, so I got some work to do. This is my first step. This is my first step. Yeah.
So, actually, an aside. We'll start right off with ridiculous. I want to get back to your new setup. You know, I was thinking about standing up and, you know, I was sitting for a long period of time, and combining it with the fact that we know I use my iPad and I'm reading and things like that. And put all that together in the bathroom. Have you ever had...
With the fan going?
No, have you ever had it where, you know, you're reading, you do whatever, and you literally can't get up because your feet, your legs have fallen asleep?
Yes.
You cut off all circulation.
Ironically, as recent as this morning, I'm flipping through pictures of Jamesy playing football, right? And I'm looking at different pictures. Next thing I know, I'm like sitting on there. My legs are tingling. My feet are tingling. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
And when that happens, you know that, I know the minute I put pressure on this, I'm not going to be able to move. And it's weird. It's like you really can't move. Like you get up, you're like, oh, no, too early.
And thank God there's not people looking at us when we walk out of the bathroom at that point. They're like, whoa, he really did some damage in there. He slipped a disc or something. I don't know what's going on, right?
It's nuts. It's like you on the toilet for that long where your feet fall asleep to the point where you cannot walk. It's like that. Awesome. This happens to me more times than I would like to admit. Anyway, this happens on the couch as well, is where I was going to go as I'm getting older. Not the tingling and all that other stuff, but like, I guess your body just doesn't like it. Doesn't like it. Yeah, it doesn't like getting old. Because and we're not really supposed to be this old, I don't think, right?
I don't think so.
Species.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not when it starts hurting like this. I feel like I should be like the Tin Man, you know, like somebody should just come and just say, you know, just put oil in my joints real quick. Exactly. All good. You know what I mean? 1, 2, 3. That's what it feels like to me.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Kid and your stupid dog. You're so young and you're oiling this old rusty thing.
This old rusty man. Yeah.
Anyway,
but the standing is going to help. That's my goal. The standing is going to help. You know what I mean?
I think it looks great too. It's good for a camera, you know?
Yeah, good.
It looks nice. So what do you got? What's your setup? You have a new standing desk?
I got a new standing desk, yeah. So it's a new standing desk, a little portable one right now. I'm still trying to find the best location, best way it goes. But I love it. I mean, I love it.
It's good, right?
It was one of those things I was like, all right, am I going to invest in a standing desk? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? Saw one for, you know, that was like on one of those Facebook sites that somebody was essentially giving away. I'm like, yeah, let me give it a shot.
Oh, now you did Marketplace?
Yeah, man.
I want to talk about that. But we'll get to that.
I'm happy with it. So So I tightened up a couple of screws, a couple of bolts this morning, make sure it wasn't all shaky and gross. But 1, 2, 3, and it works.
Plug Is it one of those like that's automatic that you like
get a little button
and it goes up? That's
they can
really
sit
nice.
down at it. I got 2 levels, so I got the keyboard down below, and my monitors are all up top. Nice little setup. I got my big monitor over here, my little one over here. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Now
I'm sure people are going to be wondering this, but what does something like that cost on Marketplace used? Like is it hundreds? Is it like more? Is these expensive? Tell me.
You ready for this?
I am. Yeah, I want to know.
Nothing.
Come on.
This was a site in town that was like giving things away. I forget the name of it.
It's like one of those in our town too.
Free things, yada yada. And I was
gift economy, whatever. Yeah,
it was one of those things. And my wife saw it. She's like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "Yeah, grab it." I'm like, "Well, let's try it, see if it works, do whatever." It's in perfect shape. It goes up and down. God. It's got 4 different memory settings over here that I could set up and do.
That's
nice.
It
comes down, it goes up. Somebody, I guess, they said it didn't fit in their space, and they didn't. Okay, probably didn't want to take it apart again because they put the whole thing together, and they were like, "All right." They could have sold it. New. I probably would have bought it for $50 between you and me.
Oh, but I bet it's worth a lot more than that. I mean,
I'm sure. Yeah,
that's amazing, man. Perfect. That's really cool.
It's perfect. Okay, so right now it's on wheels, so I can kind of figure out where I'm going,
even better.
And then lock them in when I'm ready.
It's not like huge or anything. It's just
no, because I'm in the space I have and whatnot. I don't need anything big, so it's just
man, that is great. And are you using this only for beef, or this is like your new setup? You're going to do?
No, this is my new setup. This is my new setup. Yep. This is my new setup. So I got to figure it out because I got to get the other desk out and think about the space and stuff like that. But this is it. This is where I'm doing it. I'm going to get. When you solve one problem, though, you open another.
A million, yeah.
Now, guess what I need in order to do this?
Oh, an outlet.
Well, I have the outlets. Okay. That's good, right? That's a little. The one thing it's missing is plugs in it. I expected me to be able to plug everything right into the desk.
But that was shoes. I need new shoes. I was going to say that was a good answer on my part.
It was actually a great answer because I would have liked to have that connected to the back of this. You know, be the prop guy and all, so that I can wheel. And I can't wheel it anywhere. I got to unplug it if I go too far.
So myself. Shoes. What?
I'm on my feet all the time. I don't have good sneakers right now, and it reminds me that I need good sneakers.
We are a solution. Hold on a minute.
Yeah. Talk to me, Goose.
It doesn't take long.
No, you got the pad. It's a real soft pad.
So the desk that I got,
the jelly one.
I got to come back. The desk that I got, it comes with it. All right. There's a brand to it. I don't know that.
So that's one of those soft gel pads that
it is.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now I will say I do wear shoes. Well, sometimes, not always, but this does help because when you're on your feet all the time and you're on whatever floor, right? Yeah. It's hard and it does wear you down.
Yep.
That is a solution. So you just get a little not like that. You go to Home Depot or Lowe's or anywhere. I'm sure anywhere.
Ironically, again, I was just talking to my barber about it because he's on his feet all the time. He's like, "Oh yeah, I have to have these mats and I have to have them around these things." And he says he saves.
Yeah, they're great, right? I mean, they're really good.
Yeah. Cool.
You have a barber. That's so cool.
You don't. Yeah, well, you do that yourself, right?
Of course. Yeah.
I don't do this myself. It's not that there's a lot, but
there's enough to justify a trip, right? How often do you have to go to get a haircut? This is another question I have.
I should be going every 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. So
every 3 weeks about.
Okay.
Because I still get all this back here in the back of my neck, and it gets a little fuzzy and gross. So I gotta get all that cleaned up and stuff. My hair up here doesn't grow as quick as I'd like, but by the top. But,
you have. I have to do this every week. I'll tell you though, this is completely aside from, but I have to do it in the bathroom, and I have a little. I don't know, plastic sheeting or something that collects most of the hair, but not all of it. And some of the hair gets onto the sink or whatever else. What is it about hair that you cannot wipe it up? Like I have tried everything.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah.
I mean, you get a wet paper towel, you have these Windex wipes, whatever, anything. I wipe it down and then it sticks to it's ridiculous.
That is so
someone
true.
Needs to come up with something, right?
That is so true. And even to the extent where when I was in the barber and I was there with my son, he needed a haircut bad.
Yeah.
I almost felt like it was all over. I didn't even get a haircut at this time. I got one the time before. And I felt like it was all over me. And I felt like it was actually my throat. Like I think I swallowed it because it was just in the air, right?
Yeah.
And it was just, I was like, trying to get it out of my.
Which at least it's yours. Imagine how the barber feels.
Yeah, exactly. He did at one point get some in his mouth. He was like,
of course.
But he's a friend of mine, so I was like, it's okay if you spit all over my son while you cut his hair. It's fine.
That's crazy, ridiculous.
Yeah,
I'm into a barber, and my goodness, it's a long time, man. I've had this.
I love the barber.
I've had no hair for a long time.
See, I've been going to the same guy since I was about 16 years old.
Yeah, right? This is
so. His name's Mike. He's local. He's fantastic. Fellow Italian guy.
I was going to say, it's an Italian thing.
Old school Italian, right?
Yeah.
Like like he was talking to me. He's like, hey, yeah, I had to use that Amazon Prime thing or whatever I got to do. I'm like, that Amazon Prime thing, like that's new to you? Like, yeah, my kid was trying to show me some Snappy Chatty or whatever you call it, but I can't do that stuff. I was like, oh my God, look, he's only like 5 years older than me, but it's just not in his DNA, right? It's not, you know, but we could talk forever. Like, it's like family every time I see him, and we could talk forever. I know his family, you know, I know who his kids, asked about his kids, he asked about mine, but again, you know, we grew up together essentially, right? I was like 16, he was like 21 and started cutting my hair, and now we're where we are today. Yeah, it's crazy.
Amazing. I love that. There's something to that, right? Like this cultural thing of going there. It's just an experience, right? So, I mean, I could go. Anybody could go, right? And now my son
loves it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. All right. So I've got to pick up on this Facebook Marketplace thing and everything else. So there's two stories that I have. One is interesting. Just kind of, you talk about older school people that, you know, don't want to do the fancy things or anything. So I don't use Facebook Marketplace because I'm too afraid. Afraid is maybe the wrong word, but too suspicious, too distrusting, right? Like my natural inclination is, if I go pick something up, I'm going to get mugged, right? This is my natural. Like,
you're afraid of the danger, not of being scammed. You're literally afraid of the danger of the getting to pick something up.
Yeah, maybe the scamming a little bit, but how much could they get from a scam, right? I mean,
sure.
Yeah, but I don't want to downplay that. Yes, but more like, you know, I'm going to go and there's going to be like a back alley. I'm going to get beat up, right? So
sure.
It's like the most ridiculous
Just bring your wife. She'll protect you.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. Now you're talking. So anyway, but occasionally I'll check it because, you know, my microphone habit, you know, there are certain things I'm looking for, and occasionally there's only one. So I found this one thing I was looking for, and it's a very older vintage thing.
Okay.
And so I reached out, and the guy was too far from me. So I was like, hey, would you consider shipping it? And he's really, really nice. Like, yeah, you know, we could do that, but, you know, it's not really what I normally do, but I could figure it out, right? So we're working through, and I say, you know, I could pay by PayPal or Venmo, whatever else. And you could tell he's like not connecting with any of this stuff. And finally he reveals to me, he's like, look, I'm over 80 years old.
I'm not going to hurt you, buddy.
First of all, but this was not even that, because it was too far away. But he's like, look, I just, you know, I'm not comfortable with any of that stuff, right? Like, so, but I really, but by this time we had, you know, developed a little bit of a friendship, right? Yeah. And he's like, I really want you to have this because you seem so darn excited. Like, who else is going to, you know, like, I'm like, I really am, you know, but I don't want to put you out and anything else. So he goes to the post office. He figures out that you could do COD. Do you remember COD?
My goodness.
This is like collect on delivery.
Collect on delivery. That's right. Yeah.
That you actually, and by the way, this is a good system. Like, because someone ships something to you and then you pay for it when you get it, right? Like, that's the way a transaction is supposed to happen. It makes
sense.
Yeah, as opposed to me paying PayPal and saying, well, I hope they ship it, you know?
Right, yeah, for sure.
But of course, we never do this anymore. And so, you know who else never does this anymore? The post office. Because they did this thing. They come to my house with this package and they're like, I don't know what to do. I said, I think I'm supposed to give you cash.
Somehow I got to pay you for this. Yeah.
Like, yeah, but I don't know. So he said, calls his supervisor. He's like, I'm not sure. What am I supposed to do? So you can write a check, but who do I write it to? I don't know. They literally have no idea how to do this thing. Yeah. So I'm like, dude, just here, take the cash and give me the package. You figure it out somewhere. So I hope this guy gets his money. But anyway, okay. So I told you that story because this other one is even better.
Okay.
So I found another microphone. This one was on eBay, but it was a guy who was local, right? So I was like, he's local to me. That doesn't always happen on eBay. So maybe I'll reach out to him and say, hey, would you do a, you know, local pickup, whatever else?
Sure.
And so he's like, yeah, sure. You know, no problem. Just email me this way. And now I'm like,
oh, goodness.
Wants me to email him off of the system. That doesn't make sense.
He's
trying to scam me, right? And meanwhile, I'm the one that asked him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The guy's trying to scam me. So I'm like, and now I start getting cold feet.
There's something else, dude.
I'm something else. You can't believe where this story goes. So I'm like, all right. I was like, you know, I said, so which you want me to email you off of the system? He's like, yeah, you want to pick it up, you know, just you will come by, check it out, and then you know, because this guy's probably a dealer or something like that, like an antique dealer, whatever, right? Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. He's like, okay. He's like, well, then just pay for it on eBay. I'm like, I'm not sure, right? So I'm like, so eventually I paid for it on eBay. Yeah, I paid for it on eBay. I'm really nice. We're really nice.
Yeah, sure.
I get the thing. It's perfect.
You need a good rapport
but I paid like $17 shipping for 5 miles.
Because you did it on eBay. Because you did it on eBay. Because you didn't trust some guy that you reached out to say, hey, are you selling this?
Exactly right. Okay.
Did you give him your real name or anything?
Well, I had to when I shipped it, right?
Okay.
So, I'm an idiot. This is the point of the story. None of this makes me look good. But believe it or not, it gets worse. Okay.
Oh, I thought we were done. I thought we were done.
We're not done. I get the thing. I say, hey, this is awesome, really good. Everything worked out great. So I was very happy with it, right? And I'm turning it into a lamp, by the way. So this is like my newest hobby.
Making lamps?
You got to see this.
Okay. Someday I hope I do. Maybe we can show everybody.
I'm going to show. Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Good. All right.
So I'm continuing on my quest now because now I'm into this thing of making lamps out of old microphones.
Okay.
And we have these great flea markets that are near us. In fact,
a great one near me. Yeah.
Yeah, Elephant's Trunk, right?
Elephant's Trunk.
So I heard about this and I read about it. I was like, I had nothing to do on a Sunday. I'm going to go to Elephant's Trunk. So see what I can find. I got there, normal time, and I went and I started. It was great. Loved it. Loved this thing. Right? It was really awesome. I'm looking, not a lot of people have these old microphones or whatever else. So anyway, kind of close to the end of the day, I get into a booth and I find this old microphone, right? This like old thing. And I pick it up and I'm like, how much is this? He's like, $75, something high, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's a lot. He goes, so I said, no. He goes, yeah, well, the reason, he goes, the people like to do things with them. So I said, oh, okay. Yeah. He goes like, I had this nutty guy.
No way.
From X Town, right? Which is my town. He goes, and he was making something out of it, like a lamp or something.
Are you kidding me?
And he wanted to pick it up, and then he said he didn't want to pick it up, and then and still, James, it didn't register with me. I'm like, wow, what a lunatic.
And it was you. That is hilarious.
So he's telling me more of the story. He's a super nice guy, right? And then as he's telling it, it's like, wait a minute.
That is hilarious.
I think this is me.
Did you tell him?
I said, what's your, did this happen on eBay? He's like, yeah. I said, what's your eBay name? He tells you, I'm like, that was me.
He must have lost it too.
He lost it. He was, because now he's immediately thinking back, like,
realizing that he called you crazy, called you nuts, right?
But he wasn't like totally derogatory or anything. Yeah. And he was like, I can't believe it. He's no way. This is amazing. No, I said, yeah, that's.
And then you try to explain yourself about why you did that.
And then I
right?
explained it to myself. I was like, the reason is that, and he's like, no, that's ridiculous. He goes, no, it doesn't, nothing to worry about, anything else. I said, I'm like, yeah, but anyway, I said, so this is, really good. Anyway, the end of the story is I got the mic for $60.
Because he just verbally insulted who you are as a person as he explained his funny story. He's like, all right, I guess I got to give it to you for $60.
Could you imagine? But it's very seldom that you get insight into the way other people view you.
We're thinking of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you became a story because of that.
I became a story. He was telling like as many people as he's like, I can't tell you how many times I've told this story. I was like, well, now you have an ending to the story.
That's hilarious.
Super nice guy though.
Oh, that's
really
great.
Amazing. So I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Like, totally. Two things though about that flea market though, just so you know.
Yeah.
They got wonderful donuts. They got cinnamon donuts.
Oh, really?
That you'll kill for you. They're like little popper type donuts, like just like in a little bag,
like
cinnamon sugar. Yeah. Just fantastic.
Good.
The other is they expect you to haggle them down in price at a flea
market.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you probably could have got it for $50. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like there was a little bit of haggling, a little bit like you just insulted me. You probably could have got them a little bit lower.
I probably could have. Yeah, I probably could have. Well, you know what? I don't know though, because I walked away and then came back and I was like, I don't know. Who knows? But they do expect you to haggle. It's a great place though.
Love it there.
It really is like, it's a culture. What I really found was like, it was like a, some people, they go all the time and they're just talking to the vendors. People are super friendly and they're just, it's really a great, like, family oriented.
I haven't been there in a while. Yeah, I haven't been there in a while. But if you get there early, which I'm sure you did, they have all the vendors are there, and then they have like the vegetables, and they have the dried meats and the Italian. They have all that sort of stuff, and they make bacon, egg, and cheeses, and they have coffee. It's been on TV and all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's on Flea Market Flip. Like that's one of the main ones.
Yeah.
It's a good flea market. I'm going to go again, and I'll tell you if I go because you'd get a kick out of watching me there.
Yeah, I would get a total kick out of watching you there. By the way,
beef on the road,
because you're going to be hypocrite. You're going to look around. You're going to do your stuff. You're going to pick up things that I wouldn't even think to look at, and then you're going to like, oh no, I'm good. And you're not even going to try to get people down in price because that's very uncomfortable for you.
No,
I'm okay. I'm okay.
No.
Don't look him in the eye. Don't look him in the eye.
I'm okay with that. That's not true. I'm actually comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that. I mean, but there are things that is like, if I want to, if I think it's worth less, I'll offer. But if I think it's priced fairly, I'm like, I'm not.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that's going to be like, you don't want someone's priced it for $5,000. Like, will you take 4? Like, I'm not going to do that. It's like, the guy's trying to make a living. So
I agree.
That doesn't matter to me. But I got another thing there.
What else did you get, Bob? I'm so excited for you. Yeah, talk to me, Gus.
Okay, so I do these marketing classes on different things, and one of the examples that I use is Ivory soap, right? Because it's like long life product, and I use it as an example of the packaging. How you probably even heard me do this spiel, right? How the packaging changes over time, and this product basically hasn't. So it's like you change one of the 4 Ps, right? That you can extend the life cycle for a very very long time. And I show this picture of 1940s Ivory soap packaging, and say it's the same exact product, right? And so what did I find there? A bar of 1940s.
No way.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that cool? Now, I will tell you that it didn't come in the frame, of course. I fashioned a little case for it.
You had to make it nice.
Oh, but doesn't it look good?
It looks great. I thought maybe you got it in the case, which made it even a little bit nicer. But
no, $3. $3 just for the soap.
$3 for a bar 1940s Ivory soap.
$20 for the frame.
Right, exactly.
But it's a business expense.
But that's cool. That's cool. You got a little prop for yourself.
I thought it was because I had a great time, man.
Yeah, you're getting up. Yeah. This was last Sunday?
This is Sunday. Just Sunday, yeah. So,
yeah. I had an interesting Sunday as well.
What'd you do? Tell me. Yeah.
Well, obviously, first and foremost, I went somewhere to watch my football team play last Sunday.
Oh, who? Right? I don't know who is it that you like again?
Yeah. So being a Raiders fan, and again, this is playing. We're doing this the Thursday after the game, so just so everybody knows, because you'll all see it after another game happens, which I hope they win. But I went to go watch the Raiders on TV to play the Baltimore Ravens. I could have been home, but we wanted to go. Beautiful day out here. We're kind of you're kind of in this area of the country, counting your days till it gets cold. So we're like, all right, it's a beautiful day out. Let's go outside. We're outside at a brewery. Had all the TVs, all the games playing. Outside, it was awesome. My son actually went with his mother to Baltimore to actually see the game, which was awesome too, right? And thank God they won. Great game.
They Raiders did win?
Won.
I was wondering if
they pulled it out in the end. It was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game. But there was something interesting that was going on at this place.
Okay.
And it's kind of crazy. It was a brewery that I went to. Right. So therefore, they are creating and making their own beers, right? And that is what they're known for. They really just serve beer, right? And they have some ciders and little things. Sometimes they have a host beer that comes in, and they have a food truck. So they're just a brewery with a food truck that was there as well. They had all the games playing. And the first thing that happened when I walked in is there were children everywhere.
Children?
Yeah.
At a brewery.
Kids. Little did I know that there was probably, I'm going to guess the age, but maybe a 5-year-old's birthday party that was being held at this brewery. Yeah.
Why would you have a 5-year-old birthday party at a brewery?
I don't know.
I mean, I could see going for dinner at a brewery that also serves families. Yeah, serves food. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to bring my family. But to bring your kid to a place that doesn't serve, and do have a party,
right? Like I get it. Like I brought my 16-year-olds because there's a place near us, a different one that serves the best pizza in the world. So we'll bring them. We'll have some pizza. I'll have a beer. They have water, whatever. We go. We have a good time. And it's a lot of it. It's outside, right? And this place was outside. The kids were outside.
Yeah.
But any adult game that was going on, like there was like an adult checkers game, and they were like rings, are like wearing them on their arms, and they're running around, and you could see the adults being like, and I'm cool with kids being there. I don't want to sound like, I've got a gaggle of kids. So I understand what it's like to have kids and want to still go out and have beers. But who throws a kid's birthday party at a brewery? First and foremost.
This person, but I can't imagine many people do this.
I was baffled by it. It goes a step further. Then, as I'm watching a game, a gentleman walks by. Now, pets in breweries kind of go together, right? We've talked about pets when you're out. Yeah. But there's this whole thing, right? Breweries, you should be allowed to have like your dog, basically.
I guess. I don't,
that's just one of those unwritten
outdoors,
right? Exactly. Of course. It's outdoors. Unwritten sort of rules. It's outdoors, whatever. And you can have your dog. And people bring their dogs. And it's all
up
good.
To the brewery, right? So whatever.
Up to the brewery, let them have it. Well, I don't necessarily feel the same about cats being allowed. This dude walks in with a cat on a leash behind me. And I'm like, is that a cat? Walks his cat in, sits down. Next thing you know, what does the cat do?
Jumps.
Right up on the table. Kitty O'Toole's isn't allowed in a brewery, buddy. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess he is. I don't know.
Nobody said no.
Jumps on whose table? Not yours.
No, not on mine because the guy didn't sit with me.
Right.
But he was at a long table that could have been shared. But the cat's just jumping all over stuff.
Of course, yeah.
I don't understand how people can let cats bring a cat in to do this sort of thing. Like, it's very different than a dog. And I'm sure people will hate me for saying this, but cats are just different. That a dog is going to stay on the ground, and if you're okay with a dog, it's going to be. I don't want a dog jumping up on the table either.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Except I don't care how big it is. This is where the problem comes in, right? Like, where is the line? Once you open up the gate, right? Like, for example, you open up to service dogs.
Sure.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Sure. Yep.
But then you say, well, what about a therapy dog? I have a story on that too. But what about a therapy dog? Well, the therapy dog isn't really a service. Well, yes, it is. Are you saying that I have any less of a affliction than someone who needs a certain? Okay, no, I guess we can allow therapy dogs. Okay. So now we say we want dogs that, are actually acting like dogs. Well, what about the person who has the little dog that I've seen them put those on the table all over the time, the time, right?
Sure.
Like, because they treat them like babies. Okay, well, no, we don't allow that. Well, wait a minute, but you allow the therapy dogs.
That's discrimination, right? Exactly.
So now you've gotten that opened up. So now it's like, what about the guy with the cat, right?
Who puts a cat on a leash to begin with?
Well, that's a whole different problem.
Who puts a cat on a leash? I don't even. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What's a cat on a leash?
Cats don't want to be on a leash.
They're not like that. They don't leash train a cat.
Leash train a cat.
You can yell at me, people. You can comment and say you do. But come on. You're a cat lover. Right, you're a cat lover. Yeah, I mean, except when it's peeing all over the place. But that's a different story.
I'm a cat tolerator.
You love cats. You love Frosty.
Okay, but I gotta push a little, right? You say that a dog's it's okay on a leash because that's what we've come to normally accept. I'm sure the dog doesn't want to be on a leash, right? Like,
I don't know.
What dog do you see that's like happy to be on a leash? They're always pulling on it. They're choking themselves.
Unless they're trained. Yeah, sometimes.
Okay, well,
but I'm not worried about like you have. Let's just look at this, right? It's like a cartoon. You have 30 dogs, probably, maybe 20 dogs at this brewery. And a dude walks in with a little white. You don't think these dogs are going nuts? These dogs are like, they're drooling. They're like, oh my God. I got to get that thing. Like, come on. That's just taunting at that point in time. Like, you're walking in with a cat and all these dogs, like, their eyes light up. And you're wondering why they're barking and they're jumping and they're doing all sorts of. Because this one guy just walks in, just, dude with a cat. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
What can you do?
I couldn't do anything. I'm just a patron.
Yeah.
But you can't really do anything.
This is the problem. Once you say, like, I allow pets, you got what line do you draw? I don't know what line you draw. Do you say I can't have cats for fear that, it's going to jump on the table? Well, then what about the dogs?
I think you can make a sign that says dogs only.
Oh, you can certainly make that sign.
Yeah. And you can say, sorry,
I can see somebody only. Reacting is the point, right?
Yeah, but they're cat owners.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Anybody who's going to walk in with a cat anyways, ain't going to give you a hard time. You know what I mean? Because they probably got 50 more at home that are all running around the house. Are you trying to claim that
cat owners are not tough?
Well, you're the biggest cat owner.
Because I don't know if I could agree with you here.
That's going to give you a lot of trouble from a lot of cat owners. But you know what? fine. I grew up with a couple of cats because my grandmother loved cats and she grew up in the house, but they were outdoor cats and they were just making sure. My dad just said they were there basically to maintain the mice problem. So they just stayed outside. Man, we kept them warm. We had a garage thing. I don't want to be claimed abusive or anything like that. We kept them warm. We took care of them, but they were outside more than not. And we at least left their claws on and everything. They didn't pull them off like some of those crazy people will do. But you're probably one of them. Did Frosty not have... don't?
No, my first cat?
Uh-huh. Come on, man. You can't do that.
I didn't know you couldn't do that.
All right.
I listened to the vets, right?
As long as you didn't do it for your second.
No, then the second one I wanted to, but the vet said no.
We're not allowed to do that anymore.
I was like, we don't do that anymore? This used to be a thing. Now it's not a thing. So now the cat's just going to go around and claw everything. They're like, that's what they do.
You're going to buy my furniture? You're going to rinse my furniture? You can buy me new stuff.
So now I put it on a leash. That's all.
Take it everywhere I go.
Simple.
You can put it in a cat carrier.
Cat wants to get
you can put it in a cat carrier if you want.
No.
Cat carrier is different than a leash.
But I can tell you that the cats don't get good press on this show, do they? Because we've had the King O'Toole.
People were eating them last week.
Last week they were eating them. This week you're on the leash. I promise anybody who's listening, we like cats. I love cats. I really do. But
he's more of a cat fan
James,
than I am.
For some reason, doesn't. I guess.
I'm not a huge cat fan. And I've nailed why I'm not a big cat fan.
Why?
Because my kids don't listen to me. Right? Like I'll call their name and they don't listen to me. My dog will listen to me. Yeah. My dog will listen when I call her, when I tell her what to do. She's a good dog. She's Chocolate Lab. Roxy, she rules. They'll shout out to Roxy. But
sure, she's listening.
But cats don't listen. Cats don't listen.
Yeah, but
come on. I don't need another thing in my house that doesn't listen. If the cat came right to me when I called it and was like, anything I can do for you, like my dog does, like whatever, then you're welcome in my house. But if a cat doesn't listen.
I've always thought that dogs are a very ego-based pet, right? Because that's why people have them, is because of exactly what you're saying. They listen, they're loyal, they love you. And if they don't, then you're probably not going to be such a dog person, are you? So
you could say listen.
It is completely.
It is about the fact that I need to have a pet that's going something in this house that listens to my direction
to you and loves you.
I need a dog more than the dog needs me. There's no doubt about that.
That's it. It's an ego-based pet. That's what it is.
But she loves me.
Of course she does. Yeah, she does. Stop feeding her and see how much she loves you. I'd love to see that.
Why would I do that? She listens to me.
Exactly.
I feed my kids. They don't listen to me.
How much she loves you. So this is great. So I should tell people, like, when this happened, I got a text from you, right? But it wasn't from you. It was actually from your wife. And I have to tell you my reaction because it's so funny, because I know Jen would appreciate this too. Mm-hmm. So you ever watch Spinal Tap?
I have, yeah.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies, right?
It's great. Old school,
okay.
Love it.
So the deal, like they're a band, whatever. It's just fantastic. But at one point, one of the band members brings their girlfriend on the road with them, and the girlfriend starts taking over and telling people what to do and everything else. And then the whole band comes apart. So when I got the text from Jen, I was like, oh no.
You thought she was taking over the beat? Oh gosh, no.
I didn't think she would. I didn't honestly think that. Yeah. But the first thing I thought about was like, oh no, he's bringing his girlfriend in, and now we're gonna do this. He's gonna Spinal Tap. No, I love Jen. I was just joking, but I had to tell you, because when I saw it, I was like, because she sent the video, and I was like, oh no, this is Nigel's girlfriend.
You're not allowed in. You are, that's hilarious. That's fantastic. No, she's not allowed in. She'd try to get in. She'd be. She would try to get in. Yeah, she'd try to sneak in there because she's funny. Got some good stuff. Funny. Yeah, she is funny. She gives me ideas of things. She's like, you should do this. I'm like, let me just take it as it comes. Let me just take it as it comes.
My wife does that too. That's why I was saying. I was like, and I'm like, no. And so,
it's just got to evoke emotion in us, or it's not going to matter, right?
You let it leak, and I'm like, uh-oh, he better not bring her on the road.
Oh, no. He bring her on the road. Then she's taking over everything. Next thing you know, band breaks up, and we're a mess.
She's going to hate me now, though. I just thought it was funny.
Well, she's one of the 7 people that listen, so she's going to hear you. That's for sure.
Yeah, right, yeah. I'm telling you, though, Nora, she watches it. She can't wait for it. There are people in my life that actually can't wait for the show to come out.
I'm getting the same feedback.
Many,
actually,
and I will tell you that these are people that I'm like, they know me. If anybody would be sick of me, it would be these people, right?
Right,
so
right.
But they look forward to it. So there's something there. It's just that we got to market it. I don't know. I know
we got to do a little bit more. And then those people got to comment. Like, let's maybe like it, because I think it gets like 3 likes and it's me on different accounts and then my wife.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, so I don't think she's going to like this one. Don't get me wrong. But this one may have too. I'm just kidding.
She'll like it.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, she's a good egg. She's a good egg.
You know what she'll do in response? I know exactly what she'll do in response. She's going to send me another video.
Oh, no doubt about it. She's gonna. You want to see me do this? You started this, Bob. You started this. That's exactly what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen. But we were talking about it the whole time. And then there was like a parent area, by the way. There's like, this place is cool, by the way, but they just lost a little of control. There was like an adult area, and the kids would jump in the adult area, and Jen didn't want to be like, get our kids, be like that old shit. Like, yeah, maybe, like, where's your mom? Maybe go find. And then the people that work there were yelling at the kids to get out of the adult.
It's
just,
good.
You gotta,
good. It's
I had a great time. Idea. By the way, I had a great time. The Raiders won. I was happy. Had a couple of beers. I should chill. We did chill. We just gave us something to talk about. And in the end of the day, I do want to have the ability, though, to go to a place and not have. I have kids. I have 5 of them.
James.
So I want to be able to go to a place that doesn't have littles running around and causing havoc.
I'm not letting you off the hook on that. I'm sorry. I'm not letting them off the hook on that. I don't think that we should be the ones that take it on the chin. Like your reaction is, I should chill. I should relax. No, you shouldn't. No, you shouldn't. Like other people's poorly behaved kids should not be your problem. And the whole thing is that parents that are not watching their poorly behaved kids think that their kids are everybody else's responsibility. Like, you're just going to have to put up with it. No, I don't have to put up with it. I don't have to put up with it. I'm here paying for my food and beer and whatever else, and I shouldn't have to put up with your poorly behaved kids.
You're 100% right, Bob. And I'm sorry.
Ridiculous.
I said I'm sorry. I've got to come up to the reality
sorry.
of the whole thing, because that's what happened. And even I happen to know one of the bartenders that were there, and she had said to me, I have to go to the parents to tell them to manage their kids. They have a sign behind the bar that says, "Children, stay with your parents. Your responsibility." So it's obviously happened when you start having to say that, and it still continues. People don't care. They don't care. They don't give.
They don't care.
They're drinking their beers, they're hanging out, they're doing whatever they do, and they just give them a different place to be. Yep.
But it's the same thing we were talking about with bad dog owners, right? It's the same exact thing. Like, it's a dog. People love dogs. No, not everybody loves dogs, and not everybody loves your kids, right? Sorry.
Or the cat that you bring into
especially when they're annoying. Here's the thing. Everybody thinks that their kids are cute, and they're not. We gotta remember, the only reason you think your kids are cute is because they look like you.
They're yours.
Right? It's all ego-based.
Again, ego-driven. Right. Sure.
Most kids, they're not cute. They're annoying, and so just stop. Right?
And you know what gets me about that? What gets me frustrated is I get so worked up. Like, when my kids were younger and they were doing something, even now they do something stupid, I look at it as a reflection on me.
Yeah,
so
me too.
I'm on it, and I'm like, don't do this, or let's just go. We're gonna leave. I can't relax, right? It's the same reason I can't, quite honestly, bring Roxy to some places, because I'm worried about it's a reflection on me if she's sniffing someone or jumping on someone, and I'm worried about the dog. Same thing with the kids. And then there's people that just don't care. So when they don't care and things are just going wild, like, what gives you the right to not care? Like, be responsible for your things, whether it's your kid or your dog, whatever it is,
whatever you've decided to impose on me,
it's not my problem.
But here's the thing, James, and I think that you've hit on something that's really, really insightful, which is when there are kids that are misbehaving, the only time I care is when the parents are ignoring it. Like, I never really
that's a good point.
care when kids, because kids are going to be kids. Yeah. And if the place is a kid-friendly place, you're like, okay, kids are going to do stupid things. But what I want to see is the parents say, hey, stop that, right? Or don't do that, or don't bother them, or put your head down, or stop looking over the booth at that person, or, whatever, right?
Totally.
Stop running around. But when the kid, I've had people come right up to the booth that we're sitting at and start dancing and doing things like putting stuff on my table, and the parents are literally doing nothing. Like, I'm supposed to be okay with this. Right. That's what bothers me. But if the parent would just turn around and say, hey, no, stop, I'd be, okay, fine.
Totally.
It's always the parents. It's always the parents.
And the one thing I always think of is, and I've never done it. I won't say I never will, but like, when kids misbehave, like are really doing that stuff and the parents aren't paying attention, I just want to walk up and slap the parents. Just
that's right.
I can't hit the kid. I never would hit a kid. No. But I can walk up to a parent and just watch your kid. Do better. Do better.
Do better. Although you say that, my grandma, she would have hit the kid.
Oh, no doubt about it. Mine would too.
Without even
no doubt about it.
Without even a blink.
A little something. You know,
she would have hit the kid, right? Did we tell the wooden spoon story on the? I
don't know.
Did you ever get the wooden spoon treatment?
I didn't.
Italian mothers with wooden spoons. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Again, I'm the youngest of 4 boys. I was
the most. You're younger, remember? Right? But you know, we grew up old school, and maybe I shouldn't say this. I don't know. We'll get activists coming after, but she doesn't care. But when I was young, the wooden spoon was the thing, right?
Yeah.
And I remember one time, it was not like anything big, by the way. We make such a big deal out of everything. It's not like, you know, beating the pulp out of it. Just, you know, tap you on the butt with a wooden spoon. But it was enough of a threat to say,
to give you a little,
Yeah. So anyway, one day, the wooden spoon was in the sink. It was being washed, right? Because it was a wooden spoon that gets used for multiple purposes. We wanted to make sure.
Gravy.
You don't just have. Yeah. So, right. So I was acting up, and I used to act up a lot, right? Yeah, you could imagine.
Yeah.
So there was no wooden spoon available. And I saw this. The minute I saw that, you know, her weapon of choice was not available,
wasn't handy.
I was like, all right now.
Nice.
Good.
Nice.
You got nothing.
What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now?
You got nothing.
Let's hear what she did now, because I'm sure she did not do anything.
She had something. So we used to have a pizza paddle.
Oh, you know, the big one. Like the big one.
Of course. It was hanging on.
She just wielded a pizza paddle.
It's the pizza paddle. I'll show you.
Oh my gosh!
Shabam! Right on the got nothing. But it was enough.
It's a good old slap.
But it broke the thing.
Oh my gosh!
Now it wasn't. I would have remembered it was a hard smash. Right?
Of course.
It wasn't. It was probably an old broken thing. But it broke. Right. But this is how beautiful times were back then. Is that you know, you would think that she'd be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Nope. She literally broke the other half off. Yeah.
Did she
hung it back on the fridge, and that was the new.
And probably got mad at you for misbehaving because you broke the paddle.
That was the new weapon of choice. I'm like,
I know.
That backfired.
That's so funny.
But it's what they used to do, right? Back in the day. It was like, you know, I'm not condoning it. I mean, I know times change, and that probably was a little overboard. But you know, I will say this: whether you do that kind of thing or not, the ability of parents to discipline their kids is a necessary thing. Right?
Agreed.
Agreed. Okay, you could go overboard, you could do whatever, but you need the ability to discipline your children, and we've completely removed that from cultural acceptance.
Correct.
And that's why we have, you know, brats.
And when discipline happens, behavior improves, and you don't have to worry about them as much. So it's a matter of, you know, maybe a little tougher in the beginning, but do it. Right?
Yeah, some form of discipline.
Put those, and it's better for your kids. Yeah. My mother always said, she was an elementary education teacher, director of nursery schools, ran a lot of schools for all. She said, put up boundaries for your kids. Like, tell them where, because they need it. It's their sense of security. They'll feel better. And you need to do that for them and for you, because when you are out, they will behave better for you. It's heavy lifting in the beginning, but in the long term, it's what you got to do for your kids.
Yeah. And again, I have to disclaim, right, that clearly we're not condoning, you know, violence or this or that. The other thing, you could always, everything could be taken too far.
Discipline doesn't have to be violence.
But discipline doesn't have to be that way, right? Discipline is setting boundaries. Discipline can be just a good, you know, change in your tone. But for some, like, and how do I know that is necessary? Because when I see the other side of it, where, oh, don't do that. Have you ever seen that work?
Never.
Ever. It never works, right?
Never.
Of course it never works, because the kid's like, okay, yeah, right.
And if you're really doing a good job of discipline and you're really setting your boundaries, you won't have to change your tone. Like, it's all a matter of, you know, the yelling and the real anger and stuff comes from your lack of control as a parent, right?
That's right.
When you have that control and you have that ability to discipline, they know what the consequences are going to be. And it can be, hey, I'm taking away your phone. Believe it or not, not, guys, the world doesn't end if somebody loses their phone. I'm taking away your phone. You can't go to your bedroom anymore because there's everything in your bedroom. I used to go to my bedroom and look outside and see my friends riding the bike and cry and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm missing out on this. Now you go to the bedroom, they're like, well, I've got my phone, my TV, my video games. I can't even do that, right?
This is where I wanted to be to begin with.
Exactly. This works. I was going upstairs anyways before I called you a jerk, you know?
Right. I called you a jerk, so you'd send me here.
So you'd say, exactly. Works perfect, you know? Yeah. But if we do stuff like that and we get in the habit of that with the kid, then you're gonna be all right.
I think so. Right. Again, I think that some discipline can go. Again, we're not asking anybody to go buy pizza paddles or break them on their children's behind. Again, whatever. But the point of the matter is that
nothing like that.
Discipline, right? Yeah. Some level of discipline, because your kids should not be someone else's problem. And by the way, even if they're not at a brewery, but you're raising them like brats, they're going to eventually become someone else's problem.
And please, be outward. How is it impacting the other person? That's what kills it. Is it bothering the other person? Are you doing something there, right? You have to think about it. Stop looking inward so much. You just be, do whatever you want to do. It's about me. I'm going to go out and do X, Y, and Z. And, there's somebody else's problem. They're your problem.
I'm such a good person. I'm such a good parent. I'm such a good, look how I let my kids do everything. That's what it always comes down to. To me, maybe we'll pick this up next week, right? But one of the evils of society right now are people who want everyone else to see how wonderful they are, how great they are, how whatever. We've talked about this before, but it is like everything that I see that's wrong comes down to that thing. People wanting to promote what wonderful people they are. And as a result, you're not doing your job. Right? You're not doing your job.
Right, exactly. And this is, and again, we can talk about it more in another episode, but this is, in this example, it's friend versus parent.
Yeah.
And parents that want to be friends will not be successful parents. They just won't. They won't respect the authority to say, why are you yelling at me? Why are you telling me what to do when we were just out partying or doing this or doing that? And you talk to me. Parents and friends don't mix. You've got to be a parent, not a friend to your kids. They can love you and they want to be close to you. When they get older and they've got all the things you wanted to instill in these kids at that point in time, you may have a little bit more of a friendship. But right now, your job when your kids are young and growing up is to be a parent, not a friend.
There's your solution.
Period.
There it is, James. Perfectly said, and a great way to end.
Beautiful.
So good. So now I'm thinking about what I have to edit out again. I didn't edit anything out from the last episode.
I don't think
anything out. Well, I don't want anybody getting on my mom's case.
Oh yeah, we don't have to. We don't have to talk more about that. If people want to watch the whole episode, they can hear about the fact that your mom gave you some wax in the butt. But I'm going to tell you, knowing our demographic, everybody went through the same thing. I'm pretty sure
she's not the only one, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone went. The only reason I didn't is because I was. My parents were too lazy to do anything. I was the fourth. They were done. They're like,
you were young. Yeah.
Time the fourth one came around, I wasn't even just young. It was just let them.
But ask them, did they get smacked by their? Oh, of course, right?
Yeah.
It's like culturally, there's no
doubt about it.
Anyway, all right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in again. Please, please, please subscribe, like, comment, share, let people know that we exist because, man, these are just too good to.
We love it. Yeah, for sure.
Well, who knows? Maybe you'll love it too. Anyway, while you're doing all that stuff, thank you again for joining, and we can't wait to see you back here on another episode of
Beyond the Beef.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.